Min?
I wish I had some. I wish I had a toy handy now to hold up at the screen.
A toy?
This toy business.
What the hell is that?
It's the mouth.
It looks like a sperm. Is it supposed to?
Yeah. Oh, tastes like one too.
Amazing.
It wasn't when you bought it.
It's not really its fault, but it does have a hole in it. So.
Hey.
All the
Right,
references.
Speaking of unnecessary holes, shall we do a podcast?
Correct.
Whee!
Welcome to episode 4 of FRUK Unwrapped, the official podcast of Food Review UK, where the product you receive is always a much worse version of what was promised. Tonight we will be discussing food marketing and advertising, but before we get there, he's so tough he could fight Captain Morgan and the Pepper Army animal with one hand tied behind his back. It's Stuart Bullock.
Hello, Nathan Peterson.
How are you?
I'm very, very well. What an apt intro. I mean, I am well known for fighting with the sausage with one hand tied behind my back.
Which type of sausage are you referring to?
Pepper Army, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool. Wasn't sure if it was a masturbation euphemism.
Nope. Not from me,
Cool.
Nathan.
That's just where my mind went then. Absolutely great stuff. Yeah, let's move on. He's entered more homes of unsuspecting women than the milk tray man. It's Michael Jameson.
That was short and sweet. To the point as well, yeah, and factual accurate. I like all of that. Well done. Thank you. How are you?
Thanks for the review. Are you moving away from food reviews into intro reviews?
If I see a gap in the market, I will stick something in it. And this time it happens to be my opinion.
I'm glad you only left your opinion stuck in there. Are you well, Michael? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Been bullied a bit today, I feel, but otherwise I'm well.
How have you been bullied?
Just people taking the piss, aren't they?
Okay, cool. This conversation is boring. And finally, a man who knows the pain and struggle of trying to share a creative process with Michael Jameson. He brings the brains, the charm, the swagger, and the smouldering good looks to the channel, while MJ just does some thumbnails. It's Luke Stevens.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I do the thumbnails, and yeah.
So even less. I was trying to give him as much credit as I could without. That's fine. If we can take away thumbnails from him, even better.
I do the occasional one.
I
do probably 10%.
I kind of wanted to clarify that fact before I did the intro, but I thought it'd be funny if I left it in. But no, it's even better that he doesn't do them. He can't even be bothered to do that.
He just shows up generally, and I enjoy his presence.
Invited or
sometimes, if I'm lucky.
So, Mr. Goafer, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. It's nice to sort of finally speak to you both. Other than obviously I've met Mike before.
You're a relatively new listener to the podcast, I believe. I believe Michael finally tied you down and made you listen to the podcast this year, maybe even.
I can't remember how long it's been now, but I'd say a few months or so. I've recently sort of got into podcasts a bit more, and I figured I may as well listen to the FRUK one, since and it's actually turned out to be very good. Not that I'm surprised, but...
Yeah, the use of the word "actually" there was I think, the key one. It's
I regret that. I've known Mike a long time, so standards were pretty low.
Exactly. So, the most important question first. What is exactly the worst thing about Michael Jameson?
I'd say the relentlessness, if I'm honest. Just it never stops, ever.
Yeah.
And that can be a good thing. Like I've likened him to a puppy with just boundless energy. And,
but it's when he starts shitting on the carpet, it gets a little bit too real.
Yeah, Yeah, and humping the neighbours. It's just not on, really.
So I alluded to it in the intro there, but probably the best thing for us to sort of promote for you is Sweaty Thumbsticks. So tell us what Sweaty Thumbsticks is, and why people should head over there and subscribe.
Well, we do sort of Let's Plays, and I'm starting to feature my like gaming collection in there a little bit more, because that's sort of where my passion lies. And it's basically just Food Review UK with Mike's sense of humour and everything, but with games instead. So I don't know if that's just erase the channel from YouTube or not, but
yeah, I'm trying to get you to sell the channel, not to.
Yeah, I've not been off to a good start, have I? Really on that one?
No, not really.
We try really hard. Does that count for anything?
God loves a trier. So it's mainly concerning gaming. So question is, what's your favourite game of all time?
Of all time.
All time. Not just
time.
now. All time.
I would say Skies of Arcadia, I think. Either on the Dreamcast or GameCube. Just it's a personal favourite of mine. I played it first time round on the Dreamcast. For those who don't know about it, it's basically Sky Pirates in a sort of, I think it's either Darwinian sort of, maybe not Darwinian, but in a sort of fancy universe, basically.
I'd never heard of this. I literally just typed in Skies on Google, and the first thing that came up was Skies of Arcadia. Is this a big game? Is this like something I should know?
It's a franchise now, isn't it?
It's really not.
Well, I mean, there's about 10 games.
There's literally 2, and one of them's a remake. So no.
No, I mean the Skies of series is.
Are you thinking of Tales? The Tales of series.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah, it was quite big on the Dreamcast, but the Dreamcast wasn't really a hugely successful console. So if you had a Dreamcast, you'd know about it. But if not, it kind of probably would have passed by, unless you managed to pick it up on the GameCube. But yeah, it's all sort of Sky Pirates, basically. Big sort of floating pirate ships. Really good story, really good music, and just one of my favourite games of all time.
Cool. And what are you playing now? What's your current obsession?
I've just finished Diablo 3 on the PS4, and something that Mike will be interested in. Not that he's looking very interested at the minute on his phone.
No.
But
Welcome to
yellow so
podcasting
we can
with
see
Mike.
it.
I'm fucking researching. Why do I always get? Do you guys not? I'm sorry that I can do 2 things at once. I can multitask.
And be rude at the same time. It's fine. And I've just in Mike's interest started Planet Coaster.
Right.
Oh, very nice.
For our recent theme fest, I fancied making my own theme park, basically. So yeah, that's kind of my gaming needs catered for at the minute.
Let's go around the room since we're on games. Michael, your favourite game of all time is Donkey Kong King Country or something like that?
Yeah, probably Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest, sort of Uncharted series / The Last of Us is. I sort of recognise The Last of Us as the best video game ever made, but yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2 is probably my favourite.
Are you playing games at the moment, Michael? Are you?
I'm always playing Hearthstone, so I play that every day. The new set of that's just been announced, so that looks really cool. And playing a little bit of FIFA. I have actually played Planet Coaster fairly recently, but it just takes too much time for me to dedicate to, so I can't get into it as much as I'd like. And I pre-ordered like a few games recently. I pre-ordered Marvel Legends 3 on the Switch, and actually no, I don't think I've pre-ordered anything else, but I booked a day off. I booked off the 15th of November to play the new Star Wars game and the new Pokemon game, because they come out on the same day, which I thought was a bit too much to ask of a human being to not book that off. Yeah.
You booked it off?
Yeah, sort of had to, really. My hand was forced.
How very, very good of you. Stuart, you're not massively known for your gaming, but I believe you dabble.
Yeah.
Have you? What's your favourite game of all time?
Football Manager. To the point where I'm not allowed to play it anymore.
Which year? Any particular year?
I used to play like keep quite up to date with it, so I would buy the new one. So I was a big Championship Manager player. Obviously, like back end of the 90s, really smashing it. All the way through the early 2000s, up to about maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, when I've got a problem. I'm massively addicted to Football Manager. Barely a day goes by when I don't think about downloading it and starting a game on it, but I can't because I just go deep. I will sit there and play for 20 hours straight. I got to the point once where Bradford City were the best team in the world. They built a new stadium. They named it after me. I was the most respected man in world football. And then I finished that game. I was like, I might start another game. And Gemma just said, why would you start another game? You've just won Football Manager. What's the point? I can't do it. I have to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like how people get with World of Warcraft, isn't it?
Yeah, I dabbled in World of Warcraft, but luckily I didn't get proper sucked into it. It just didn't stick. But it was a good game.
Never tried it. Never tried it. Never really appealed to me. But hey ho. Right, moving on. Luke, you're probably aware of that we do with new guests random questions.
Yep.
So if you would like to throw 3 numbers between 1 and 10 at me, and I will ask you the relevant questions.
Do you want all 3 now or just one at a time?
You choose.
I'm going to bookend it by going 1 and 10 and then square in the middle with 5.
Oh, I love a man with who's got a system.
That's actually closer to 1 than 10. This
it is, yeah. It's not square in the middle. 5.5 is square in the middle. But
I'll tell you what. I'll ask you.
I've got a 5.5. That'd be great.
I'll ask you the first half of question 5 and the second
I've got a 5.5. I've got a 5.5, but it's not a question.
But by help me God, I'm going to answer it.
And I'm going to do them in that order. So number 1, would you rather eat chocolate-flavoured poo or poo-flavoured chocolate? It's an absolute classic.
It is a classic. And I always wonder why limit to just one. Can't I have both?
I mean, I don't think anyone's answered that. I'm happy for you to
it just lacks ambition, really. But obviously, it's poo flavored chocolate. It has to be. It's the only one that's probably not going to kill me.
Yeah, I think people forget that poo is it's there's a health concern associated with eating fecal matter.
It's not great, is it? Have you ever had anyone answer
not if you eat
poo?
Michael Jameson, I think we asked on like the first time we did the questions. I'm fairly certain he went, "Oh, it's obvious."
Oh, and, have you had a human answer that though?
No.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Good. Glad you interrupted. Number 10. Are you allergic to any foods?
Not as far as I know. I've recently started sort of being a bit more sensitive to like jalapenos and sort of spicy stuff, but I wouldn't say I was allergic. They just give me a bit of an odd stomach, I'd say. But I still eat them because they're delicious. So
when you say an odd stomach, what, pain, or is it gas, or is it what's let's get to the bottom of this. Let's see if we can WebMD you.
Nice. Well, it's definitely cancer then. Just a general sort of like gurgling and unease. Like I'm not sort of nothing to go to the doctors about, but just a general unhappiness, I'd say, from my stomach area.
Were you good with heat before that, were you?
Say that again, sorry?
Were you good with heat before that?
Yeah, like when I was sort of maybe early 20s, late teens, I had the whole sort of phase of, food has to be a test type thing and eat as spicy as I can. And now it's more about like the flavour and stuff, but I don't mind a bit of heat.
Fair play. Right, and now question 5.5. What is the sexiest? What would you be? You can interpret that question however you wish.
What is the sexiest? What would I be?
Yeah, I mean, the 2 questions are what is the sexiest fruit or vegetable, and if you were a food, what would you be? But if we're going down the middle, it's what is the sexiest? What would you be?
Sexiest fruit, definitely strawberry. I know you've had some phallic answers.
Interesting, definitely strawberry. Is that because it's associated with, trying to butter you up, sort of your woman?
Just, have you ever seen a lady eat a strawberry? Generally,
I have, yeah.
It's pretty impressive the way their lips like curl up when they eat it. It's amazing. I need a few minutes now.
I don't. When I watch them eat it, they're not naked, so I don't get to see their lips curl up.
Oh, great. That wasn't what I meant. But okay.
Jesus.
I'll have to try that one.
And what
Get
would
a
I
fruit
be?
cocktail and it
Does
works.
it still have to be a food? Because I'm kind of wishing I was anywhere else but here now because of Mike's comments.
That makes three of us.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right, let's move on. Lovely stuff. As we all know, next up, Quivia.
Yes. Go
Whoa!
on. Here we are.
Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's Quivia time to play Quivia. Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's Quivia time to play some Quivia. It's like a cross between some trivia and a quiz and a such it stems apart the two of those two aforementioned words. Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's Quivia time to play some Quivia. Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's Quivia time to play some Quivia.
Let's go.
Brain of Quivia.
Right. Last week, I asked you all a question. Are you any good with languages?
C.
It was all leading to this, to be honest, because I needed to know I wasn't going to. Sorry. Sorry, Michael.
Wait.
Why?
What? No way. I'm good with languages. Wait.
Why is everyone flexing right now?
I don't know. Is this? Are you trying to be ding dong? That's the only thing I can. What I've done is, I have 6 food mottos. No, not mottos. Slogans. That's the word. I've got 6 food slogans, and I'm going to ask you what the food is that relates to that slogan.
Easy.
You have 2 options. You can go for the easy, which is the English, or you can go for the hard, which is the French. French.
I like it hard, so.
Correct. The French comes with it 3 points. However, if you get it wrong, your opponents get a point each. So there's a big risk reward.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sorry, what's the English version?
You get 1 point for if you get the English one version right.
So you're going to... Sorry, wait, what? I don't understand.
Right, so I've got 6 food slogans. If you'd been listening, instead of flexing your muscles, Michael, you might have understood. I've got 6 food slogans, which I will give to you, and you will tell me what food it relates to.
Sorry, right. Yeah, with you. Yeah.
So I can give you the English one, and you'll get 1 point if you get it correct, or 0 if you get it wrong. Or I can give you the French version, and you can have 3 points if you get it correct. But if you get it wrong, your opponents get a point each. Okay.
So, for example, you would either say "I love water" or "J'adore eau."
Correct. Yes.
And then I'd say, "Oh, that refers to water."
Yeah, of course, but I won't tell you both of them because that would defeat the object. Really, you choose whether you.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Please don't insult my intelligence.
Wow. Okay, and we will start with our guest, Luke. Can you give me a number between 1 and 6, please?
4.
4. And would you like the English or the French?
I'm going to go French. First out of the gates.
Good, you've given me the hardest one to pronounce.
Great.
Tu penses que la dame aime le plateau de lait? Apologies to all our French listeners out there.
Got it.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, I think so. Do I answer first?
It's just you. It's just you.
Oh, it's just me.
Yeah.
Is it milk tray?
Yeah.
It is indeed milk tray. He's in with 3. We'll go to MJ next.
Oh, it's giving me some confidence, isn't it? Would you say that's a hard one, or?
It's always hard, but
Okay. Fuck it. Go hard or go home. I'll go French.
For which one? Between 1 and 6,
Number 2.
acceptable. Number 2. J'adore ça.
I love ça. I think it might be salt, but I don't remember that slogan. I love Sa. Fuck it, I'll say salt.
That is 1 point to Stuart and Luke.
I think I
What
know
was
this
it?
one.
Does anyone know? You won't get bonus points for it, but
Is it McDonald's?
it is McDonald's.
Loving it.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The song that I was, before we started recording, I had playing. Fucking hell.
Sorry, mate. Stuart.
Hello.
1, 3, 5, or 6.
Français. Toi, s'il vous plaît.
Toi. Toi, s'il vous plaît. Alors,
Men,
sorry?
just like men speaking French with their English.
Correct. I mean, this is horrendous. Allah travaille sur un ouf.
Oh,
Oh, nice one. Yeah, cheers, mate. It's the go to work on an egg. So it's the eggs.
It's going to work on an egg, yes. So that's three for Stuart. Back to you, Luke. 1, 5, or 6.
I'll go with 5, I think. And I'll stick with the English. I'm going to play safe on that one.
Ooh. Good things come to those who wait.
Oh, that's really annoying. I actually know what that one is, but I can't remember what it's called.
I can't.
Are you going to have a guess, or do you want to pass?
Is it some sort of alcohol? It's not like Guinness, is it?
It's not like Guinness.
Is it Guinness?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, thank God.
Michael, 1 or 6?
it has to be 6, doesn't it?
Prendre un... Right, we'll start this again. Well, do you want English or French?
Guess I'll go French, mate. You sort of forced my hand.
No, you can go English if you want. I just assumed
No,
you'd go French.
I'll go French.
Okay. Prendre une pause.
Oh,
Long.
easy.
Okay, so big pause, big bear, big pause, big pause.
Big bear.
Easy.
Yeah. Say again.
Prendre un porn. Porn. Brilliant.
That's a different French.
Yeah, correct. Prendre un pause.
Fish and chips.
God.
No, that's obviously Poms. I don't know. Poms and Poms. They didn't teach me this one, Mrs. Flavia. Oh, fucking hell, I don't know. Prawn cocktail.
Oh, you
Prawn.
absolute mug.
Stuart, I think, knows, which is... You going to have a pop, Stuart? There's no bonus points for you, but...
It's Kit Kat. Let's take a break.
Yeah, have a break. Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. No one's going to get that.
So
Right.
me and Luke get 1 point each, do we?
You do, and you are the final competitor.
How many points do you get for getting the English one?
1.
1. Right, so Luke's currently on 6. MJ's currently on nothing.
Luke's on 8.
He's not.
No.
And I'm
He's on
currently
8,
on
isn't he?
4. No, I'm currently on 5. So I
You
had to
get
play
3 points for... Hang on, don't you get 3 points for getting the French one?
Yeah, he went French and English.
Yeah, I went
That's
English
4.
for the second one.
And he's got 2 points off of yours, so that's 5 and 6, whereas Stuart has 3, 4, 5.
Have you planned a tie break?
I mean, who would do a Quivia? And just bear with me. And not.
To be
yeah,
fair,
I can come up with one.
No.
to be
no,
fair,
monsieur.
mate, it's not like you should have known to plan a tiebreaker. It's not like anyone could be expected to do research whether they would or should create a tiebreaker. It's not like you got experience running quizzes. So
The joke there is that I have been planning a tiebreaker for another quiz, and I didn't do one for this.
Français, Monsieur Peterson.
You want to go? You want to go French?
Oui, monsieur.
wait. No, do you want to text it to me and I'll read it out?
Pouvez-vous manger toi?
Eat for free.
It's not. Pouvez-vous manger toi?
Who would now eat with free?
Don't know why you're.
Eat at free?
I was going to say front.
Six?
Food manger toi. Food and you. Read it again, please.
Pouvez-vous manger toi?
Pouvez-vous? I've bummed it. I've absolutely bummed it.
Think of this though. Not only does this hand it to Luke, but it also means MJ gets a point. So you really do need to win this.
It's like doubly good, isn't it?
For you.
Oh yeah, am I on 0?
You are on 0, yeah.
Decent. I'll be on 1 then.
I'm going to give Stuart 5 more seconds.
I can't remember the slogan. It's something like, "Can you eat a whole one?"
4.
Is it a
3,
Yorkie?
2. It's not Yorkie. No, I'm afraid it's not. Well done, Luke.
Thank you.
1.
The correct answer there was Weetabix.
How do you eat
Can
yours?
you eat 3?
I was basically right.
Mange-toi. I think that mange-et-toi.
Mange-toi. Oh,
Yeah.
did you think I was talking about mange too?
Mange-et-toi. Eat and you.
Yeah. No, I'm afraid not. Mange-toi. I apologise that I've butchered the French language throughout that.
Yeah, it was your pronunciation.
That's fine.
You ruined
That's
that
fine.
quiz.
Blame me.
Well, you don't.
Blame me.
I am blaming you. You ruined the quiz.
No, I'm saying blame me. That's fine. I'll take the criticism. Blame me.
Good.
Just saying, I had the most difficult pronunciation, but still got it right somehow. That's fine.
And I got a point somehow.
I've never seen you so happy.
Well done, Michael. but mainly, well done, Luke. I think it's been a while since a guest's won, so it's nice. It's very nice.
Glad to represent the guest team.
Nate here. If you're like me and have a dangerous amount of disposable income that you can't be trusted with, why not head on over to patreon.com and give some of it to your favourite food review channel and podcast provider. And while you're there, why not give us some money? Way! Nah, but seriously, patreon.com/Food Review UK. Help us get Gossy some new glasses or something. He looks ridiculous.
Right, so tonight's show, as I've intimated and as the Quivia has probably suggested, tonight we're talking about food marketing, food advertising, and pretty much anything in that realm. I think it would be remiss of us to go any further if we didn't celebrate the winner of last show's Royal Crumble, which very much plays into the food marketing side of life. Obviously, if you've not listened to that episode yet, then I don't know why you've skipped it and you've come here. But, guys, how do we feel the fallout has gone from Pepperami Animal crushing his his competition?
Well, you just need to look at the Pepperami YouTube channel, and I think it says it all. I think that us pushing the brand further and having Pepperami Animal as the winner has given them the confidence to upload more marketing material. They uploaded a video this week featuring some new mascots, like a chicken and whatever else was in it.
A chicken?
Yeah, there's a new chicken Pepperami.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know that. Mate, is there actually a new Pepperami character then?
Yeah, it's like a chicken. Not sure how much clearer I can be.
Brilliant.
Cool. We're currently doing the fans vote on the Royal Crumble this week. Luke's been absolutely smashing the comments, giving his breakdown of near enough every fight and why certain competitors would destroy the others, which has been a highlight for me.
Yeah, I disagreed with some, but
which in particular? Is there any in particular that you can think of that you thought people are being idiotic?
I had a question regarding the rules, which may affect my opinion on things. Were ring outs considered? Is it an official sort of ringed?
No, they're all wearing pants.
Brilliant.
Okay. Very good question. I have no answer to. I think it was just in a car park, maybe, or
where a KFC.
Yeah, wherever they just happened to stumble upon each other was their venue.
I question the animals' attack power because he's not very big, is he? But he's obviously nigh on invincible. But if ring outs come into play, he's pretty easy to just throw out of the ring, really.
Yeah, definitely not that. Definitely not that. It is purely just fisticuffs, and it's there's no, if it take, it's very much like, I don't know if you watch Family Guy, but it's very much like Peter versus the chicken. It starts somewhere but ends potentially somewhere completely different.
Yeah, lots of exotic scenery sort of being thrown through stuff. Makes sense. In that case, yeah, I'd agree. The animal is pretty much invincible. There's not a lot you can do about that, really.
No, he will keep coming.
Yeah.
Stuart, have you been have you been keeping up to date with the results on that?
I was pleased that people had more faith in Colonel Sanders than you guys did.
I just don't like promoting racism. I suppose I don't know. I suppose I'm a bit liberal that way.
Well, you just lack honesty, don't you? You like to put on a false facade.
Not really sure what the insinuation is, but I'll take offence just in case.
Liberal on the street, racist in the bedroom.
I'm racist in all my house. No, I don't know why you're even saying that.
Do we see anything other than a Tony the Tiger versus Jolly Green Giant finale?
Is Captain Morgan still in it?
He is, yeah, and he's. I believe
he's on Tony Tiger's side, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be Tones versus Gren, innit?
Yeah.
So
it's Jolly Great or something like that. Will be the tagline.
That's the obvious final that we probably expected before we got into it, and I think that anyone who votes people through for that obvious final just lacks imagination. Imagination, yeah, a world of pure imagination.
Yeah. Well, watch this space. It's. I think by the end of this week we may see the final. I don't know. It might be early next week. But let's move on to, guys, what's your favourite food adverts?
Great question. Do you remember the old adverts for Golden Delicious apples? And it was called Le Crunch.
Oh, yes.
That rings a bell, yeah.
And they were set in like a Prohibition era speakeasy, but that was entirely populated with children, a la kind of Bugsy Malone vibes. And they would all be there. And then the police would raid them, and it would all switch upside down, and they'd all be there eating an apple.
Weird. Wow. I remember Le Crunch. I don't remember that.
Oh, it was a great advert. Absolutely.
What were they doing before they were eating apples?
I can't remember, and it might have even been that they were eating apples first, and then they did something less dodgy than eating apples. But it was a very good advert, like very creative, fun advert that I enjoyed a lot. Another one. This is from my childhood. Can I mention a drink? Is that allowed? I know it's not a food.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've used the word food, but please feel free to assume drink is also encapsulated. There
was a Carling Black Label advert in the 1980s. Do you remember the 80s tagline for Carling?
I bet he's at no. Oh,
yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I bet he drinks.
Carling Black Label. That's it. Yeah.
There was a series of adverts that would show for the entire advert break, and so the first advert would finish, the next advert would start, and then the characters from the first advert would invade the second advert. So, for example, there was a guy on a horse, and he would ride into the supermarket. The second advert's like for a washing powder, and then the guy on the horse would ride through. And by the end of the advert break, it's all been one massive long advert for Carling Black Label. That just used to blow my mind as a kid. It was a phenomenal advert.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, it was wicked.
Was that in conjunction with actual legit adverts? As in, like, for example, it wasn't them invading a Daz advert, for example. It was just a generic fake other advert.
Yes. But it was brilliant. It was absolutely phenomenal.
How was that the lads? Because obviously, Carling Black Label used to be advertised. There was a couple of like actors who were very laddie, very sort of men behaving badly-esque characters. Was it them? Or was it a different?
I think this would have been before that.
Right,
That was more of kind of a 90s kind of loaded culture, period for Carling, wasn't it? This was very, very much the 80s. You can find the advert on YouTube and stuff, but the quality of it is absolutely dog dirt. Honourable mentions, Umbongo, obviously. Legendary advert. Every now and again I am called upon to recite the lyrics to Umbongo, and I'm always happy to do so.
Please do it. Please do it.
I feel he was hinting there.
Can you do it? Can you do it in your mum's accent?
We're down deep in the middle of the Congo. We took an apricot, a guava, and a mango. They stuck it with the others, and they danced it into tango. The rhino said, "I know, we'd call it Umbongo." The python picked the passion fruit. The mama said the mandarin. The parrot painted Pakistan. The whole caboodle landed. And when it comes to sun and fun and goodness in the jungle, they all prefer this sunny, funny one. We call it Umbongo. Why, aye, man, away.
I've got a new ringtone.
I don't think everyone does. Oh my god.
That one. Do you remember the racist Kiora advert?
I'll be your dog.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? But I used to enjoy that as a child. That was good. Mainly ones from my childhood, like weird, slightly racist adverts about soft drinks.
Yeah, they did love a little bit of racism.
The Umbongo one was as well. Like it finished with a jet black man appearing, going, "The new jungle drink from Libby's." Like it was very.
Just on Umbongo, I noticed that actually I think it's Burnley are about to sorry to tangent off into football, about to sign a player whose surname is Mumbongo, and I've never wanted a player to come to the Premier League more than Mumbongo, just because it is absolutely built for a song. Luke, what about you? Out of interest, before you go, how old are you? The same sort of age as MJ, Michael?
Yeah, I'm 34, so
Michael,
2 years older.
Right.
Yeah, about the same sort of age.
Fair.
Similarly, one of my favourite adverts has sort of racial undertones. It's not my favourite because of that, I'd like to point out. But the Malibu adverts, the Seriously Easygoing.
Yes.
Maybe early 2000s.
Seriously easygoing.
Yep, and yeah, there's the racism. Great. I always found them quite funny with just ludicrous situations with them sort of getting very wound up and just saying, imagine if the Caribbean was took life as seriously as the rest of the world. That was it. And
just stereotyping them as a bunch of people that just don't take anything seriously.
Didn't realise that at the time, but yeah, nowadays.
Now you're woke.
Yeah, now I'm a liberal snowflake and I realise all these things. So, yeah. I think that's my favourite. There was just something light-hearted about it, and me and some work friends at the time just found it hilarious. So, good memories of that one.
Yeah, cracking. Any others?
There is definitely a theme. I do like silly accents. So the moose loose about this hoose.
Oh, wine gums.
Had it written down.
Was it wine gums or was it fruit pastels? I can't remember.
Wine gums. Yeah, so at the top of my list right here, look. Wine gums.
Yeah.
Oh, Golden Grahams also.
Brilliant. Oh, you're just going to spoil
spoilers.
my content, are you, Nate? Oh, shall we wait to ask Michael, or shall I just read out his list? Fucking
Dairy League triangles.
Are you for real? Quiet, man. What is this?
Yeah, sorry.
Now
That's going back some. I'm quite surprised you remember that one, because I would have thought that was quite a long time ago.
I'd say that's
90s, mate.
Yeah,
1990 it's got to be.
Really?
I'd been about 5, maybe a bit older. That's proper childhood one, that one.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
I think it might be a long one, because I remember it vividly.
Maybe it was early 90s then, somewhere around there. But it helps because my girlfriend's family, a lot of them are Scottish, so I hear that everywhere. Every time I meet them, it's great. And they just wonder why I'm just smiling all the time. It's good times.
Is that how they greet each other then? Is it?
There's so many mooses and so many hooses, it's ridiculous. It's like an epidemic up there, but they just don't talk about it.
I can only imagine what the insurance must be like up there for contents.
Yeah, and the British invading. It's all ridiculous.
Any others?
There's a few others, but they're not quite as up there as those two. Like Mr. Soft, always from Soft Mints.
True Ball.
Yeah, just the way he walks will always stick with me. Always.
Yeah. Lovely animation.
Yeah, it's mainly just sort of sweets from my childhood, really. Just that sort of era, I think, are some of my favourites.
It's a good point, actually. We'll come to you in a minute, Michael, though I have spoiled most of your...
Don't really need to do it. So.
Do we find that the subject matter of the advert makes us more aware of the advert? I.e., like, do we find that the actual product itself is then ingrains the advert on our memory more, or is it just that it's the advert itself is just creative? Does that make sense? I don't know if I've worded that question correctly. Like, if it was a food product you hated, do you think you'd remember the advert as much?
Oh yeah, I think it comes down to the advert because I don't like. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate Malibu, so
fair.
Yeah.
Cool. Michael, tell us about Dairy League triangles.
Well, this might surprise you, Nate, but one of them is one of the my. So I have to say, actually, it's not my favourite advert, but certainly one of the most memorable is Dairy League triangles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Reason being, guy next door lived next door to us. Actually, it's this young little chap that's sort of lived next door to us. He sort of viewed himself as a budding actor. And he landed at this sort of quite key integral role in this sort of marketing advert, I suppose you'd call it, for those little triangles of I think they're like some sort of pasteurized snack. Simon, what are they called? Simon, small sort of triangle. That's it. Yeah, Dairy League triangles. Yeah, it was anyway. Particularly, sorry.
Lovely.
Once you get me into Simon's dad mode, you can't really stop me, and it is hard to stop. Yeah, that one is memorable because I actually knew the guy who was in it. He lived next door to me, Guy Witcher. Right. He was also in the ITV series The Worst Witch. Had a small part as one of the wizards.
And also had a series of computer games developed around about his life.
Very good. The Witcher reference.
A good series of games as well.
Not like Guy 3 Wild Hunt. Yeah, and he you might remember it. He licks. It's like a chap who's wanting the Dairy League triangles or something, and he walks into the kitchen. He licks his hands, and then he climbs up the wall, and then he climbs onto the ceiling. And in this new stealthy position, he's able to grab like a Dairy League triangle from the centre. So that was memorable. As Goafer said, the Wine Gums advert was also memorable. I think it would be remiss not to mention the Golden Grahams advert, which our very own Gossy was in, and which actually I do find quite memorable. For anyone who's not aware of the one I'm talking about, is the one with the heads, the coloured heads, red and blue, coming out of the cereal bowls. Gossy was one of the little boys. And actually the only little boy, because everyone was a little girl. And then special shout out to Microchips for that memorable theme song. Clickety click, Microchips. That's probably the earliest food advert I remember.
Yeah, I remember the Microchips advert. I used to love Microchips as well.
You wanna put it on a plate? Something like that.
That tastes great.
That sounds like the Milky Way one. The red card, blue card.
No, clickety click.
Microchips.
Yeah.
It fascinates me that back in those days there used to be different flavours as well, weren't there? There was like salt and vinegar or cheese and onion flavour Microchips.
Nope.
Definitely was.
Not when I was a child.
Cheese.
I don't remember them either.
No.
Yeah, you're so old. You've probably grown up by then.
Oh, burn. Would you like some gravy with that roast?
Whee!
Or something.
Seriously, do you not remember the green box?
Nope.
Wow.
I think I vaguely remember that. Any more, Michael?
That is the memorable ones. I'm not... Favourites, probably Tango Slapper is right up there.
Didn't want to mention that one, or?
Just sort of did.
I mean, favourite adverts, and you sort of threw it in after. Speaking of food adverts that featured people connected to this podcast, Reese Peru, fairly regular commenter, featured as an extra in the 2001 Shreddies advert that was based on the Oliver Twist. I don't know if you remember that advert. He tried showing me the other day. Like you can't see him. Like he was pointing to some child who had their back to the screen, but he claims that was him. And even went as far as to suggest that the Shreddies animal, or whatever he was, I don't know if he had a name, should be featured in the food mascot Royal Crumble next year. So,
oh wow, love that idea.
Lots of added content. Food adverts that I love. I've got quite a few, so buckle up. This is an old one. Stuart's probably more likely to remember this than you two. Stuart, do you remember the Dudley Moore Tesco free-range adverts?
It's ringing a bell, but you're going to need to remind me.
I am a massive fan of advertising campaigns that run and run. So it's like one advert, but then it tells not to tell a story, but each advert seems to be linked to the others. So basically, Dudley Moore played somebody who worked for the corporate side of Tesco, and he was tasked to go out and buy free-range eggs, and he gallivanted all over the world, I think mainly in Europe, but it seems he went other places. But each advert was him looking for these chickens, these free-range chickens that gave these eggs. But in each venue, he'd get into some mishap. So, for example, he'd somehow, I don't know why he thought there'd be chickens in a vineyard, but he would then fall into like a vat of wine, and then the owner would go, "Oh, sorry, no, there's no chickens here, but why don't you try some of my wine?" And he'd try the wine and he'd love it, and then he'd buy that for Tesco. And then he'd move on. The next advert would be something. So literally every advert was him looking for these fucking chickens. And it spanned probably about 2 years or something like that. And I don't know if he ever found them or whatever, but massive fan of that. Like I say, because I love a running theme. Sorry, my computer needs charging. What else have we got? John West Tuna. Absolutely banging fucking advert with the bear fight with the man.
Yeah, that is good.
Literally one. Are you shaking your head, Michael?
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Are you doing that thing where you pretend you don't know something when you actually do know something?
It must be old. I don't know that.
It's not.
That's quite recent, isn't it?
A bear is attacking a man, and there's tuna involved.
Right, he knows what he's talking. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
You genuinely don't know what you're talking about.
You do know what I'm talking about, right?
Sorry,
Google
what's the brand?
John West Tuna.
I've got to come off my. Hang on, I've got the fucking McCain advert blaring now.
Brilliant. Cool.
John West Tuna.
Tuna advert. It's literally the only one that matters.
Oh, the bear fight. That's probably it.
Yes.
Oh, this might ring a bell.
I mean, it's one of the best adverts of all time.
Just watching it now. Oh God, yeah, very funny, very funny. Yes, I remember that advert. Sorry.
Good stuff. Moving on, a behemoth of a iconic advert, the Cadbury Dairy Milk Gorilla.
Oh fucking hell!
That was a game changer in advertising, and I remember it being just one of those things. Like the next day, you talked. Did you see that advert last night? Like it was just one of those. I mean, this was pre-internet really taking off. I don't know whether it would have had quite the same impact if it was released today, but at the time, it was just absolutely just, as they call it, water cooler TV.
Yeah. Did they not hype it up as well? Did they not say, "Oh, there's a new advert coming on at like 8 p.m. during Coronation Street" or some shit? It was.
I have a feeling it was Big Brother, because it was when Big Brother was in full swing, and yeah, I feel like they, for like a few days leading up to it, like had little teasers. Obviously, you didn't see. I think you just saw like the gorilla, maybe the gorilla was doing. You didn't know what he was doing. You just saw his face like being all broody and shit.
Can you imagine coming up with that idea?
Oh, it's mental, isn't it? I mean, it means fuck all when it comes to it. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we're with the biggest chocolate brand in the UK. What should we do for our next advert?
Yeah, they had like a series of weird videos, didn't they? Because had the eyebrows. Was it the eyebrows before or after that?
Oh, this was
the eyebrows and the balloon and stuff.
Yeah. Right, we'll be here for quite some time.
Move your
Marks and
head from
Spencer's. Marks and
remix.
Spencer's. Marks and
This
Spencer's.
is not just any old podcast.
Yeah.
This
Good.
is a Marks and Spencer podcast. Bow, 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 bow.
Good. Can we? Tango Slap, you've already obviously referenced. Again, another iconic one. Holidays Are Coming. Literally tells you when Christmas is nearly.
Oh yeah, of course.
Holidays are coming. 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 Not the best Coca-Cola song. The best Coca-Cola song is like a for the very first time.
I feel like I'm in a fever dream.
I don't know what's going on. I've lost all.
Not the best though. Not the best.
No, can we not turn this into a what's the best Coca-Cola song podcast?
It's not the best Coca-Cola song.
What's the best one, Michael?
Oh, I would be surprised if I need to even mention what it is.
Right. Well, you are.
Is it going to be the Always a Real Thing one? Is that them?
Fuck. I'd love that. What's the next one?
Or is that the Christmas one? I can't even remember.
That is the Christmas one again.
Yeah.
It's always the
I was
real
singing
thing.
it.
Holidays are coming.
Store in Florida. What's that one? I sing it in my vlog. I love it. What's it called? It's on the tip of my tongue, guys. Come on, the song that they use in all their campaigns now.
Don't know.
Don't know. Not really.
You're on your own.
Oh my god, song new. Coca-Cola song new.
Go.
How is this not coming up? This is the biggest this is literally the biggest waste of time I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and bearing in mind we need to finish early because of you.
Why did
Maybe.
you finish early tonight?
Taste the feeling. No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling. Oh, incredible.
No,
That's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I'm glad we all wasted all of that time. I've not finished. Budweiser's.
Wise.
And also,
Watching a game, having a bud. True.
Watching the game, smoking some bud.
Brilliant. I used to say "what up" quite a lot back in the 1990s. Like we would often meet up, me and my mates, and we would throw a "what up" out there. What up?
come on, Luke.
I refuse to join in.
I'm just quoting one of my favourite films, Scary Movie.
Correct. Two more. Dr. Pepper, what's the worst that could happen?
Oh, brilliant
Classic.
series.
Yeah.
Classic
Drink
jingle,
Dr. Pepper.
classic anti-advertising, because what was the worst that could happen? Something terrible. And why would you want to drink Dr. Pepper when your girlfriend, dad starts to wrestle you? But apparently it worked. And the last one I've got on here, like I said, I love, actually this is not quite strictly the same, but I love adverts have similar themes. John Smith's, the Peter Kay run of adverts were belting.
Yeah.
Have it.
Oh, the one where he tells the kid, it's not the monsters under the bed you want to be scared of. It's the burglars coming in through the window.
All right, love. Sleep well.
Yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely cracking. I love, at their best, adverts are one of my favourite things in the world, because the way they can just tell a story in 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, I think is fantastic, and there's been some classic over the years, which is why I loved doing that little bit.
Social media, what does it mean to ya? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, hey, like, follow, retweet, make our day. Social media, what does it mean to ya? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, hey, like, follow, retweet, make our day.
You can find Food Review UK on Twitter at Food Review UK, Facebook also at Food Review UK, and on Instagram at FRUKgram. Check it out.
Moving on, how frustrating is it that food marketing, the marketing team, doesn't match up with the food product?
Oh.
In particular, the fast food world love telling you something's going to look like something else, and then it ends up looking like a piece of shit. Michael, I think we'll move to you first on this because you've actually got a video about this that was stolen by the Daily Mail.
That is very, very true, Nate. What was that?
KFC rice box, yeah.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, barely remember. That's how bad my memory is. Yeah, it can be irritating. It's become a bit of a cliche thing, though, isn't it? I mean, I suppose these companies have to do what they can. Yes, it is taken to a little bit of an extreme by companies like McDonald's. But at the end of the day, if it still tastes nice, I don't have a huge problem with it.
That is true, because ultimately it is the flavour that counts most when it comes to these things. But there's still just a mass. I mean, for me, Burger King are probably the worst for it. Like, I remember sending you a picture when they had I can't remember what the exact name was. It the bacon lover or something like that. Where it was like 3 different types of bacon on there. And I was literally sat next to the picture in the window of what it should look like. And it should have literally been about, 6 inches tall. And all I had was this flat little burger in front of me. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys, at least fucking try.
Yeah. It's everywhere, though. McDonald's, Burger, I mean, Subway, Jesus Christ. It's physically impossible to get a Subway that looks like the image.
Oh, yeah. This does my head in about Subway, though. And the fact that when you see an image of a Subway sandwich, it is a curated sandwich with the correct kind of salad items and sauce for that sandwich to look a certain way. And then what you basically get is whatever the meat is in the sandwich and whatever else you want with it. So what the photos are a joke anyway, because that's not what you're buying. You're buying a sandwich that you're choosing everything on it.
Lack of continuity.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why MJ doesn't find it too much of a problem, because whenever he gets a burger, he usually takes some of the shit out of it anyway.
Exactly.
So it's never going to look like the picture. So cheeseburger review reference. Luke, do you find this an issue?
Well, I do actually work in marketing, so I am the person that lies to the public essentially, but not with food, luckily. I kind of see it from a different view, sort of to play devil's advocate, I suppose. Not that I agree with it, but the burgers on the menu, they need to show off all the ingredients so that you know what's in it. Because if they showed you what it actually looked like, you'd be like, that's just a bun with some shit in the middle. So they need to like show each individual layer and stuff, so it's laid out that way. But if you tried to eat that burger, as you said, it'd be about 6 inches tall or whatever, and you just couldn't. So the burger that you eat and the burger that's on the poster are for two different things, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the one that you have in your hand, you need to be able to eat. And if you had to try and eat something, unhinge your jaw to eat it, it's just not possible. Like I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand why they do it, and it's kind of a necessary evil.
Yeah, I get that.
It's not great, but I understand. Is sort of what I'm saying.
They just look very luscious.
Yeah.
Have you ever? I'm sure you must have. Have you guys ever seen these videos that seem to pop up every now and again, which show you how they do some of these adverts and like how certain sauces aren't actually anything to do with it, and it's like motor oil or something like that. It's like completely inedible.
They use like wood glue for milk, don't they, or something silly? Yeah.
I actually had to register. I had to register a complaint recently. I went to. In fact, let's have a fucking look. I went to Legoland Windsor, and before going, we checked their website to see what we wanted to eat, and we saw a pizza restaurant, and the pizza restaurant on their website had a picture of a pizza. Foolishly, I thought that might be the pizza that we would get. However, it was not. It was wildly different. I did register a complaint and they gave me a full refund, which was good. But yeah, I genuinely wasn't happy. It was completely different. Like, the pizza on the website looked really, really nice. And the pizza that we got was very cheap and sort of nasty. And they have not changed the image. Same image. Do you think that's out of order, guys?
Yeah, definitely. Because that doesn't even, isn't with the burgers. You can see every ingredient on a pizza. You don't.
Yeah, this
should look exactly the same.
So this is on Legoland's website, yeah?
Yeah. They've got a menu at the bottom in the footer. And if you look under Explore the Resort and then Food and Drink, it's the pizza, the only pizza, City Walk Pizza and Pasta. I said, as part of my complaint, I was like, the refund is all well and good, but I want you to change the image on your website. I mean, the pizza on the website looks absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And if you watch my Legoland vlog, you'll see what the actual thing looks like.
I'll say this, playing devil's advocate. If you expect to get a pizza in the UK that has that amount of stringy cheese on it in 2019, then I think you're the fool in this scenario. I haven't seen a pizza like that since the 80s, my friend, in this country.
Is that not a sad state of affairs, though, that you look at an advert and just assume you're not going to get it? That we expect to be lied to. It's become the standard.
It is funny when you walk past a greasy spoon and they actually do have fairly realistic pictures. Like, you can tell that they have actually taken a photo of something that they've cooked up themselves, and it is sort of like, fair play to you, but that does not look appealing at all. So I do totally understand why they do it, but yeah, it is a sad state of affairs. I do understand what you're saying. They do have to show everything off and all that sort of stuff, and also, it's probably taken someone half an hour to create that one burger, and you wouldn't expect to wait half an hour in Burger King or McDonald's or wherever.
It's just
but
the thing is, they do make these products look so good, and then eventually, when you taste it, and it's just such a boring product, you can't help but be disappointed.
Absolutely, like some of the dishes out there just look phenomenal, but ultimately are
boring.
Sadly boring.
Yeah, and that is disappointing.
Very disappointing. Anybody would be disappointed in that scenario.
Correct.
Yeah, especially if the product sort of suggested it was one thing and it turned out that it wasn't really that thing.
Yeah.
Like if it was, yeah.
For any viewers who do want to watch that Legoland vlog and see,
he's not listening.
No.
He's not listening.
I absolutely was listening. I
he's
listened
waiting
to
for a
everything
gap.
you just
So
said.
he's waiting for a gap to promote his own channel.
Yeah. Well, what, you can't do both? The 23-minute and 54-second mark. I'm going to show you the picture of the pizza up to the lads. That is
awful.
That's the pepperoni pizza.
Awful. Where's the pepperoni?
Yeah.
Correct.
I think it's that dark circle up at the top.
I don't think it's not.
Charcoal, that, isn't it? Yeah.
Awful in it. So that's why I complained, because that is atrociously out of sync.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. Sorry to hear that, Michael.
Thank you.
What were we talking about before you promoted your channel?
This is just one big advert for the channels, to be fair. Oh, that's it. Adverts. We're talking about adverts. Sorry. Forgive me for bringing up promotion in an advert episode. Fuck.
So when you say you were multitasking, what you were doing was not listening. And fine. We'll move on.
Sorry. That's a quiz.
Kind of. Because we were basically saying something and you just ignored it.
Okay. Well, it's annoying now because I didn't ignore it, but I have forgotten.
No.
I already told you I've got a bad memory.
Correct. Let's move on. Advertising to children when it comes to food. There's obviously been a big push from the likes of Jamie Oliver and all those wankers.
Jamie's Kitchen.
Do
The
we
naked
feel?
chef?
Do we feel that kids?
Food
advertising.
tube.
Advertising companies do target kids unfairly. Stuart's probably more keenly aware of this, being sort of a father of an older child that might be a bit more swayed. Let's put it that way.
The thing is, though, there are still things that are going to appeal to kids, and I don't understand why advertising companies have had to pay the price for parents who don't know how to say no to the spoiled little brats. That's the issue. It's not kids are going to see stuff and they're going to want it, regardless of whether it's advertised to them. Perhaps there should be more done to. I mean, they still do it with toys, don't they? They still.
God.
Once you get into August, it just becomes toy advert central for the big Christmas push, and every single advert break, it's just a constant. Oh, can I have that for Christmas? Oh, can I get this? Can I get this? Very, very simple. No, shut up or I'll punch you.
I guess the difference is toys don't directly lead to obesity and things like that. So food's a bit more of a...
Depends what the toys are.
Well, true.
Nintendo's directly lead to obesity.
No, not directly, but indirectly definitely is. I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is the likes of McDonald's, who I don't know if this is strictly speaking marketing, but I guess it is to some extent. And they go and put into their Happy Meals, carrot sticks and fruit bags and all that bullshit. And it's like, I mean, there's surely no parents that are going to McDonald's for that. I mean, surely you would get that at the supermarket. Yes, it might be a healthy alternative to chips, but surely you shouldn't really be selling that.
You know what the healthy alternative to eating McDonald's is to
not eating McDonald's.
Well, don't eat that much McDonald's. Like, I don't eat McDonald's, but I similarly don't deny my son it. So every now and again, my parents will take him to McDonald's. Every now and again, we will pick him up a Happy Meal when we're on the way back from something and we're pushed for time. But it's not a weekly treat. It's not a monthly treat. It's maybe a 4 or 5 times a year thing. And he has a Happy Meal, just a standard Happy Meal with chips and whatever. It's if you need to make healthy alternatives at McDonald's, you're probably going to McDonald's too often. Go somewhere else for your healthy McDonald's. Go somewhere else for your healthy options. Go to McDonald's for your McDonald's.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting at. Is actually in theory with that one in particular, that's probably actually, although it's aimed at kids in many ways, it's the parents that ultimately are making the bad choice there, because they think that because they're going to McDonald's and getting carrot sticks instead of fries, that it's, they're making a good decision, whereas actually the kid's still eating a burger with probably like 1,500 calories or something ridiculous like that. That's obviously excessive, but I wasn't sure, because obviously, like I say, Stuart, you've obviously got Theo. I didn't know whether food is something that piques his interest and whether there's advertising that's aimed at him.
I don't.
Or whether it is. Or is it more toys?
Yeah, I don't. I think the food advertising. Obviously, I haven't been raising my son in the age of rampant food advertising to kids, so it possibly has made an impact. But at the same time, he's still going to want stuff, because you go to the supermarket and it's still there on the shelf ends, massive big displays of whatever. He's aware of it and he will ask for things, but
you say no and punch him in the face.
Exactly. I don't deny my son stuff every now and again. He often asks for something and he often gets something, but he's not constantly pestering me for Kinder eggs,
because he's raised well.
Well, raised at least indifferently, and with some boundaries.
Fair enough.
Well, funnily enough, just going back a second, we're going to have a review on the channel very shortly for the McDonald's grilled chicken salad. And I raise a point in that one that I think, people people often criticise it, like, oh, why are you going to McDonald's for a salad? I think, honestly, there's no real sensible reason. Maybe some people are like all of their friends are going, and they're sort of the only one who doesn't want to go for health reasons, and they're forced to have it. Like, there's good reasons for why they've got those products on the menu. But yeah, I basically agree. Like, if you want to enjoy that sort of thing, get the proper stuff. Don't go there thinking, oh, I can still have McDonald's. It's a different product. It's a completely different product.
Yeah, fair play. Moving on, the only last point I've got on this on advertising is how do we think that social media has affected the marketing game for food companies?
Oh, it's clever, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it is, because I think they market without you realising you're being marketed to. How many times you're like,
God.
when Facebook does his auto playing videos and you'll scroll past something and you go, oh wait, let me just look at that, and you watch something and you're like, oh, I want this now.
Completely transformed the industry,
and it's targeted. So
completely. Look at all these. I don't really. So, okay. Look at all these companies. Not companies. Look at all these other Instagrammers. It's very hard to see the ones that you can trust from the ones that you can. I think generally, you literally just have to look for the bad reviews. And if someone actually gives bad reviews, then you know they're trustworthy. But there is a lot of accounts that just don't give bad reviews, and they put hashtag ad or hashtag gifted, and they're always getting sent shit. And listen, we've been sent loads of stuff, but I hope our viewers know, and listeners, we will always be honest. I mean, we've reviewed, Nate and I and Gossy reviewed a product on Friday that we were sent. And what do you give it? -4.
-4 is fucking awful. Cumin water. Don't drink it. Absolutely dog shit.
That was sent to us.
Yeah. Thanks, KGN. If you listen.
It's hard. It's hard. I don't know. I get annoyed because I think there's a lot of untrustworthy pricks on Instagram, and I get sent stuff. Like they'll basically do anything just to get sent something, and it's like, grow up, guys. Like, we've turned down loads of stuff recently because it's just like, either it sounds dross or it's just we don't have the time. And honestly, like, we've been offered stuff recently. I'm just like, I just don't want to have your fucking, like, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm delirious.
What about you, Luke? How big are you on social media in general anyway, Luke?
I do sort of browse it a lot and sort of post occasionally on a few things, but things I sort of see pop up, because I quite like sort of action sports and things, is like the way that sort of food and stuff latch on to other things, like the whole Monster with like Ken Block and everything, where you kind of just put your logo on something and then pay someone to do something completely irrelevant, like drift around some cones in a dock somewhere. And then now Monster's just huge. Like how old's Monster now? It's a few years old? Yeah. Maybe 10 or so. And they've just exploded by just getting that iconic logo in bright green on black and just slapping it everywhere. Like, you'll find people wingsuiting out of a plane, and it's like, that's got nothing to do with energy drinks. It's selling you that lifestyle, which is one of the things I absolutely hate, is lifestyle selling. Because like you'll see someone drinking a Coke on a moped in Bangkok or something, and then I'll drink it, and I'm still just a fat guy sat in the Midlands. Like, that's the style of lying I can't stand in adverts, but it works. Like, selling through lifestyle and just associating yourself with cool things, and that just spreads through social media like wildfire. And I'd love to be able to tap it, really.
Yeah, and I think that's actually tying back to what MJ was just saying there, is like, obviously, it's not something I was thinking of when I first came up with this point, but influencers on Instagram and things like that, gone are the days where you're just worrying about, the actual official adverts of, Coca-Cola, holidays are coming. You're now getting those products being sent to somebody who's the flavour of the month on whatever social media it might be, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and talking about it. And because you're then giving a very human face to that advert, people are like, oh my God, I want to be like that person because they're drinking or eating this product. And I think people are getting somewhat, I don't want to say duped, because that suggests like they shouldn't be eating or drinking it, but I think they don't realise how companies are way smarter than they are, and a product isn't necessarily better or anything like that, but because of, like I say, this human face that's being given to these influencers, it's making people just going, I want to be like that person, so therefore I'll do absolutely the same thing they do. So yeah, social media is massively affecting the game. I do think there are companies out there though that use it very, very smartly. And by that I don't mean necessarily to dupe you, but like I like companies that use their social media for fun purposes. Like Wendy's, I think Wendy's are like constantly like pretending to fight people. Obviously, Wendy's again. We obviously had the nugs for God, what was his name? The guy that's like, if you get it retweeted by a certain number of people, then you'll get chicken nuggets for life or something like that. So that's obviously a massive marketing campaign for Wendy's, and they, as far as we know anyway, that wasn't paid for in theory. They didn't design that. One guy just asked them a question, they answered, and it absolutely took off, and he became the most retweeted person of all time. Certainly at that point. And I like that. I like that companies that do that and play the game, and actually make you think, actually, that seems a fun company. It's not just trying to sell me stuff, or it's been a different way.
Yeah, like companies can interact more with their audience nowadays. Like it's not just a one-way selling thing, if that makes sense. Like with Walkers, where they'll be like, vote or lose a flavour or whatever, and then full well in 9 months' time they'll try that flavour will make its triumphant return, much to social media's delight. Like it's just getting people to interact and being aware of the product, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Just talking back, because if I see a poster, I'll look at it, I'll walk past, probably forget. But if I spoke to that poster, if it was interactive, I'd probably remember the experience more. And it's that interactivity that you just can't get through adverts or posters or sort of traditional adverts. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd say that's the biggest game changer, I think, for social media, is the interactivity, and in some cases like influencers, things like that.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. When did KFC change their Twitter account to the just 11 followers? 11 following, because that's one of the best things that I've ever seen a company do on social media. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it only came to light last year, I think. But whether they changed it last year or whether it was always there and it took some smart bollock to realise. But very clever, and they didn't like make a big deal out of it, if I remember correctly. I feel like it was someone, allegedly anyway, someone else discovered it, rather than them pushing.
Not someone from a PR company discovered it.
No, definitely not.
What is it they've actually done? I'm not really familiar with that.
They only follow 11 people on Twitter. They follow Jerry Halliwell, Mel B, Emma Bunton, Mel C, Victoria Beckham, Herb Scribner, Herb Wesson, Herb Waters, Herb Dean, Herb Sendek, and Herb Alpert.
Herbs and spices, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's quite clever.
11 herbs and spices, yeah.
How long do you reckon some marketing or social media guy was sat there waiting for someone to notice that?
It is brilliant, though, isn't it?
Just frothing with excitement. Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, as much as I hate sort of marketing, as I said about the lifestyle thing, it's clever how it works. Like, marketing is terrifyingly clever at times.
I don't know if it's still out there. I suspect it is, but they're doing a little thing on Twitter at the moment, KFC, and it's have you seen it, Michael?
Yes.
What is it?
Vegan?
Huh?
Vegan? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, no. So they've set up a new account. I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's a choose your own adventure.
Not seen that.
And essentially, like, it's you're on your first day working for KFC. Do you? And it basically gives you two choices, and you choose whichever of the next thread that you would want to do, and you either get fired or you carry on and get promoted to the next rung up the ladder. And I played it, and I eventually became head of their. I think there's multiple endings, so you can. You're trying
to hire.
That's the one. And ultimately, you're trying to get onto the KFC board, and I think it ended up being the director of KFC Gaming or something like that, and came up with a game. So very clever. Like, does it make me want to buy more chicken? No, not really. But does it make me think, fuck me, KFC are a fun little company, aren't they? And so that natural warmth that I have towards them sort of kind of maybe makes me want to buy more chicken. So I love companies that do that. So sometimes these companies, their advertising is not always so sinister. Sometimes it's just a bit of fun.
I'd have to disagree. Seeing it from the marketing, it is always to sell something.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But it's got to justify their wage. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like sometimes marketers have fun with it. I'd say. I
guess that it's, to me, I mean, as a consumer, there's a difference between
the hard sell and the soft sell, I suppose.
Yeah, KFC, look at our new product. Don't you want to eat it? Let me try and shove as many images in your face and make you, just want to buy our new burger because it tastes great. And hey, there's this completely almost disconnected thing that you can do, which isn't actually trying to sell you KFC, because there's no real mention in there about how great their products or anything like that, although it obviously does reference chicken.
Yeah,
but it's not, so I like that because it makes me. I know it's a clever way of doing it. I appreciate that, like you said, it is ultimately to try and get me to buy more of their products, or at least talk about them, so that someone else goes and buys them. But yeah. I do like companies that go that extra mile to do something like that, because that just shows me that they're. I don't know. I just think it just shows an extra level of smartness.
Yeah, they're trying to get you to enjoy the advertising rather than just
enjoy the company. Yeah. It's yes, it's sinister in its own way, but yeah, it's just a much more fun experience to be had with that company, I guess.
Yeah, no, I see that. It kind of makes sense.
I think the only other thing on social media to mention is obviously the birth of food porn. Not necessarily born of the companies themselves, but I imagine that sort of has helped us all think about food more and always be constantly hungry and always wanting to devour the next thing, and seeing something from Tasty or some other similar Facebook page where it shows you some beautiful succulent bit of food just reminds you, just think, oh shit, I want to go to wherever and eat something, like go and get a steak from somewhere, or go and to get the latest chocolate bar or whatever it might be. Lovely stuff. Anything else, or should we move on to social media itself? Ironically,
ooh, I mean that's a great segue, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's almost like I put that question last to Seg.
Wow.
Are you going to ruin it, Michael?
Yeah, I'll try and ruin that.
Suck man, it's time for questions that you posted on all the platforms that you utilize to provoke our replies. Although increasingly I'll posted the forms of statements that require no response, as opposed to the questions we requested in our initial posts on the aforementioned Suck Man.
So we are, as always, each episode we post the thumbnail to the upcoming episode and ask your questions and comments, and we ask you to have fun with it, and you guys always do have fun. And I my heart was very heavy as we started the episode, as it seemed like we were missing some very important commenters, but I feel elated as there's a last minute comment that came in just a few moments ago, and we'll certainly get to it shortly. So this is on Instagram. I'll rattle through these. X Amelia Hills X, what is the most controversial advertisement you've seen? I'm not sure what the most controversial food advert I've seen in. I know it doesn't count because it's not food, but the PlayStation one where the baby dies, or the baby grows into the adult and hurtles into the grave, springs to mind.
I think it counts because you can eat a PlayStation, so it counts.
Fair
enough. I'd say Gollywogs. Controversial, food related at least, because you've still got people that will defend them to the death, and then other sensible people that realise they're horrifically racist.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only one I could really think of, other than the like Yorkie adverts, not for girls.
Yeah.
I don't know. After you.
Brewdog Beer did a similar thing a year or so ago, and they got absolutely lambasted for it. They just did the Punk IPA in pink cans for I think it might have been Breast Cancer Awareness Month or something, and they just got lambasted for it for putting a drink in pink cans. I thought it was a bit unfair, but came from a good place. But
the colour of
it's
breast
not-
cancer awareness is that not?
well,
Yeah,
literally-
it's not a
exactly.
problem
But,
for that,
but
I'd say.
an awful lot of the online craft beer community are very, very easily offended.
Fair enough. I think there's. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. But is there like a market for like manly things nowadays? Not necessarily saying it's for men, but like that masculine sort of angle. I don't know.
It's very hard because I think as soon as companies go down that route, they're going to naturally get some backlash.
Yeah.
Food wise, it's very difficult. I mean, I guess the only thing even remotely close that probably would be like Gillette and stuff like that. Like typically the male side of razors and things like that, I think still have a fairly masculine approach to their advertising.
I think Snickers did quite well with the was it Get Some Nuts or something?
Yeah.
Where it's still very masculine without being tough.
Lad culture almost.
Yeah. I think you have to tread that line carefully.
I think very briefly Coke Zero tried pitching to men rather than women. I think the first advert of theirs I could remember was like very much, look at this guy who sleeps with beautiful women and goes. I think he got picked up by a helicopter and stuff like that. There was just it wasn't quite an overtone of masculinity, but it was very much sort of suggested that it was more for men.
Do you think that was to counter the Diet Coke break adverts that was obviously
massively
women?
Yeah, massively. On controversial adverts, I will just quickly say, although I don't think it was that controversial. I think the Judderman one that I mentioned before,
Scary.
I think at the time got quite a few complaints and things.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it was in this country, there was one picture of Burger King. It was the tagline was "It'll blow your mind away," and it was a very phallically shaped burger going into a woman's mouth, suggesting that she was giving.
I do remember that one. Yeah.
A blowjob. I don't think that was in this country, and I don't remember this, but I was just literally looking through, and I just saw that Pot Noodle used to use the word slag in their advertising.
Snacks.
Yeah,
Did.
I don't personally remember that. I love that, but equally can understand why that would be controversial. I can't really think of any that I found controversial. But then again, I'm not a snowflake.
We've got a comment here from Bong Lungs.
Bongers.
I hate when my feelings are played with like video games. Got another comment here from Bong Lungs.
Meatloaf.
If I pause a game to reply, don't make the person special. Just means the game I'm playing has no multiplayer, so I can pause it. Laughing emoji. Ain't that the truth? Frankie Funko, what do you think in today's crazy world would be the most un-PC mascot, and for what product if you could create one, and which mascot that has existed in the past is on PC today? Sort of covered with the old gollywogs, didn't we?
Yeah, that's massively couldn't make a comeback. What would be the most un-PC mascot if they were to make one today? That'd be the same, wouldn't it? I don't think anything's changed in terms of what's PC.
Could we? If we were to partner up a brand with Jimmy Savile?
Oh wow!
It's probably like a cereal of some sort.
Golden Cinnamon Grahams, Golden Grahams.
Oh,
let's not go down that road.
Just a cartoon version of Jimmy Savile in a tracksuit. That'd be brilliant.
Savile's Shreddies keeps children locked up till lunch.
Surely he'd be more interested in Wheatos or something, small sort of donut shaped.
Oh dear. Like one of those children's toys where you stuck no. Favorite Carl PW95, favorite Cadbury advert, most least well marketed product in your opinion. My favourite Cadbury advert probably is either the drum gorilla or the eyebrows.
Big shout out to Caramel Bunny, rest in peace.
That would be mine as well.
Obviously fairly iconic, but yeah, I think the gorilla is the absolute pinnacle.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say hi, Carl PW95. I think you're a new commenter. I don't recognise the name. I don't think.
That flake adverts. Remember the flake advert where the woman had a bath?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that got me in.
Very suggestive.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
But got a comment here from Bong Lungs.
Bongers.
Lungs.
I've been sat in Amsterdam watching Friends on Comedy Central, and my God, is there hundreds of adverts. Hundreds of adverts. Could roll 2 spliffs and hit a bong before the program starts again.
Cool.
Is he back in the dam?
Maddie Mad. Hey?
Is he back in the dam?
He was there recently, I think.
6 months or so ago. Yeah. Carry on.
Maddie Mad World
Madders.
says, what is Stuart's favourite advert?
Covered that.
Yeah, covered that. Can't remember what I said.
And she also says, did Ghostbusters do an advert for MJ's favourite? Not that I remember, to be honest.
Oh, so
got a comment here from...
I should just say there's a comment there for Stuart. There's a comment there for MJ.
Oh. Madders.
Maybe your time is coming, Nate. Comment from Bong Lungs here.
Lungers.
Can Nate Peterson bring the Summer of Cider back for my birthday? One-off episode. I'm turning 21. Big birthday. Nate, get the merry down and review it 26th of August upload.
Do it.
All right.
I think we can sort that out, can't we?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Do that?
Yeah.
26th of August. What is that, a normal upload day? That'd be a bonus Monday episode. Wow. Olish Plinsky says, what's the most harrowing advert you've seen? What food and drink company would you want to be sponsored by? What company has the best adverts? And also, Crusher and Cravendale are the milk advert goats.
Oh, Crusher, they were the ones that had the Joel, the rather good fella? Is it Joel Veitch?
I don't know.
I'm sure we've mentioned this before.
Joel.
He's like an internet man.
Cat.
Tell you what was a banging advert. I don't know whether this... I wasn't listening to the question, but I've just remembered. Do you remember the 118 24/7 advert? Give us a call, it's Directory Heaven. Based on Everyone Loves Magical Trevor.
No.
What? 118 24/7. Give us a call, it's Directory Heaven. You don't remember that advert?
No, it sounds like a northern thing.
It was for Yellow Pages. Yeah. It was amazing.
No.
And it was based on Everyone Loves Magical Trevor, which is the guy that did Salad Fingers and all that business.
Oh, now Salad Fingers. Maybe we should do an episode on that.
Didn't happen.
It did.
Love a few of the companies that I love. I would accept to be sponsored by. Five Guys. I like Krispy Kreme on social media. I like KFC on social media. Actually, I might even choose KFC. They have fun with it, and they admit responsibility when they, humility.
I would like for us to be sponsored. I would like the channel. I would like the channel to be sponsored by Monster, only under the proviso that Michael has to wear the merchandise that they sent him in every video, because that is still one of my favourite things to look at. I would.
Hang on. They didn't send me that. That's all my own stuff.
Oh, right, okay. In which case, I still want you to wear it. I will say, I don't know what company, any company. I would love. I dream of the day that we get an email asking for there to be a sponsor on this podcast. I listen to other podcasts and I hear them doing little adverts at the beginning or halfway through the show. I think I'd fucking love us to do that. Absolutely adore it. But sadly not. One day maybe. Interesting. MJ just sent me something. We'll discuss that off air. I feel like I would just and it's not even about the money. It's literally nothing about the money or free products or anything like that. I just love the idea of us doing a little thing at the beginning of the episode each week or each show. But sadly not. Any more on that social media, Mike?
Yep. There's a comment here from Bong Lungs.
Jason is.
Kingy.
What's for dinner, lads? I had steak, chips, and salad.
Oh, living the high life.
Tuna pasta.
MJ?
I was the one who had steak, chips, and salad.
Oh, right. I thought you said bongers did. Luke?
I had cauliflower cheese, like, bake things.
Oh, nice.
Which is all right.
I had some really disappointing soup.
Oh.
What was wrong with it?
Just really disappointing. So, we needed a fairly quick tea tonight because me and Gemma were eating at different times. So I went to Tesco's and got Gemma a minestrone soup, the fresh ones in the the plastic tubs, and I got like a spicy Thai sweet potato and butternut squash soup. I thought that'd be peng. Got a loaf of jalapeno 3 cheese bread. But the soup was just thin and weak flavour. The bread was lovely. The soup was really disappointing, and poor. What did Bongers have then?
He's not said. Not said.
Probably cannabis, I imagine.
Some greens, probably.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to swing over to Facebook now because I'm going to save the last Instagram comment. Warren Minnix, creator of the Royal Crumble rap and intro. What's your favourite food jingle?
Oh, Holidays Are Coming, probably. I think that's the one that sticks in the head most.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, like we've covered them all. I genuinely do love the new Coke one, and that Holidays Are Coming is just a fucking. We all love Christmas here, and fucking just that's fantastic. I'm gonna give a special mention to Shaky Jake, the milkshake, because when I joined my new school in Chesham, one of the things I did that probably set me on my path to unpopularity and being bullied, and generally just a huge life mistake that really set up the rest of my teen years. I used to sing the Shaky Jake theme tune for money.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
How much did you get?
I'd like move my hand around and get anywhere from like 10p, 5p, that sort of thing.
I don't even know what this is, the Shaky Jake theme tune. Sing it, Michael.
It's Shaky Jake, wibble wobble wibble wum. He's a real milkshake, wibble wobble wibble wum, with real fruit juice and.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I don't remember the product, but that sounds vaguely familiar.
I don't think I've actually tried it.
The only other jingle that I didn't really sing earlier that I do love is the Dr. Pepper.
What's the worst that could happen?
Or
Brilliant.
So Misunderstood. Which we prefer? So Misunderstood or What's the Worst That Could Happen?
What's the worst that can happen, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Try to think if there are any good beer jingles.
Not jingles, really. There obviously quite a few slogans, but
there was a brilliant Guinness advert that had I can't remember what it's called. It was by Perez Prez Prado. Can't remember the name.
That's a name I've not heard in years.
Yeah, can't remember what it was called. But it was good.
I think it's called something like Circus Chase.
No, it's not.
Well, Cameron White has said best/most memorable advert you've ever seen. I think we sort of covered that. So looping back to Instagram, last comment we had in the last sort of quarter of an hour ago or so, we had this. It's from Leon Tricker. He says, I'm about the same age as Stu. We're in our 40s. More on it.
Hang on. No, you can't just change your catchphrase like that. Like, you can't paraphrase your catchphrase.
Well, he's isn't that the Office reference? He's pulled that from the Office, isn't it?
Pulled that from the Office, straight out of the Office.
Yeah,
straight out of our Office. Motherfucker named Leon.
All those 30s rather than 40s in that sort of.
Yeah, is the fact. And when I was a kid, the only thing my mum could cook was casseroles. Every meal was casseroled in the oven for hours, regardless of what meat and veg was to hand, and served with boiled potatoes, served dry, no butter. I dreaded having a friend round for tea in case my mum decided it was liver casserole night. Every meal slightly grey, with the casserole gravy watered down even further with my childish tears of despair. I once poured my Ribena into my gravy and claimed the food was os. My mum tried it and said, "You haven't poured Ribena into it, haven't you?" You've poured Ribena into it, haven't you? So I was forced to eat Ribena-flavoured casserole or go hungry. And yet the TV taunted me with a world of foods we never had. Oven chips, potato waffles, fish fingers. Growing up, Bernard Matthews was more magical to me than Santa. What foods did you see advertised as kids that you were never allowed or were a big treat?
Wow. Leon there has just made me remember one of the great food jingles. Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile, grill and bake and fry and meat 'em, waffly versatile.
Amazing.
Fizzy pop, Coca-Cola was a big one for me as a child. Coca-Cola did not happen in my house.
I don't remember the only one that I remember was, and it wasn't allowed in my house, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, was the Burger King thing. I used to remember seeing all the adverts for Burger King, and for some reason being scared off from them because I was an idiot and thought flame grilled meant that it must be spicy. I still don't know where I made that connection.
It's understandable. Fire. It's totally. I genuinely totally understand that.
That's the only thing I can think of, and that was more my own decision than my parents'.
I can't think.
Chuddies. For me as well, Chuddies, because I was never allowed Chuddies and they were often advertised, and it made them very exciting. The Hubba Bubbas and the Wrigley's of the world.
Didn't Wrigley's have a big advert back in the day? Wasn't that one of theirs that was quite a big hitter?
I can't recall a specific Wrigley's advert.
Wasn't there the Juicy Fruit one where it was like "All Right Now" was the song that was playing? There was someone in a convertible or something.
Yes,
that must have been 80s, surely.
All right now. Yeah, definitely.
Carry on, Nathan.
No, that's that. That was all you needed to know.
Baby,
you knew where I was going. Yeah. Yeah. And is that it, Michael? Also, just for the record, give some help, mate. I feel like you've been carrying that for quite a while, and I think you need to talk to somebody.
What are you talking about?
Leon Tricker.
Yeah.
For his sad story.
Michael thought you were talking to him about his mobile phone. Then he thought you were having another go at him.
Again, more research. Michael. So I would have. I'm perfectly alert, guys. I'm paying attention. That is it for social media. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Correct.
Stuart.
It's time to play a game, isn't it?
I was just thinking it was time to play a game.
Well, let's play a game.
Let's.
It's time to play a game. Let's play a game. It's called Sweeter or Severio. We pull the name of a foodstuff out of a hat. You tell us what you think about that. Will the next foodstuff be sweeter or savory? Will it be sugary or covered in salt? There's just no way to know. But you must predict. Will the next foodstuff be sweeter or savory?
It's time to play a game. So let us play a game. It's the Sweeter or Savoria. Who was the last person to play Sweeter or Savoria? I can't remember.
Good.
Let the record show.
Let
I
the
can
record
confirm.
straight.
Wow, if my computer wasn't literally the slowest thing in the world.
It's been a while.
Since I'm gonna fuck things up just like I always did.
It was
Steffi.
Correct.
I was just.
Chocolate Returns all the way back on May the 2nd.
Wow. Exactly with you, Luke. The first food out of the northern. We're in the Northern Flat Cap tonight, lads.
Amazing.
Back.
It's an absolute given, my friend, because you've got top of the savoury tree. It's Marmite. It's the fourth time out, and I for one am pleased that it's out early doors because it's a game killer. Are you going Sweeter or Savoria? Sweeter or Savoria than Marmite?
Sweeter, obviously.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, we have got, we've got sriracha, Nathan Peterson's favourite condiment. 5th time out. And it is sweeter than Marmite. Yeah, it has a sweetness to it. It's a savoury product with its saltiness. It has a sweetness to it, though. And it's certainly sweeter than Marmite.
I'd say sweeter again, then.
I mean, so would I. Shall we? 1, 2, 3. Sweeter. Oh. I mean, you've ruined the little routine then, but it's fine.
Close the podcast down.
We have chips.
Ooh.
Chips. 4th time out of the hat. Sweeter than sriracha chips.
I can't comment because I've not really had enough exposure to sriracha, so I'll let the adults decide. Michael, you've downed sriracha. Sweeter or
it's quite mid. I personally say it's more on the. Wait, sorry, are you asking if it's
sweeter
so
than sriracha?
Are chips sweeter or more savoury than a
Chips are more savoury
than sriracha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree.
In that case, you're out. You got 3.
You're listening to FRUK Unwrapped, the Food Review UK podcast. Review it on iTunes, if you dare.
Which is rubbish. Well, I had high hopes for you tonight as well.
Yeah, so did I.
High hopes.
He's got... what's that?
High hopes. He's
From
got
the film.
high hopes.
Is that an advert?
That
was, yeah. I feel like there was an ant. I feel like it was an animated ant.
High hopes.
Hopes.
He's got
high hopes.
He's got high hopes. He's got.
Is that the song just High Hopes repeated 30 times? Or?
Love it, mate.
He's got high hopes. Oh, I can't find it now. I'm stuck. Now I'm doing a Michael and I'm googling. It was Lipton's tea. No, that was from 2018. That can't be right at all. No.
I can't see anything.
No.
I can't see anything. Well, unfortunately, Luke, you weren't managed to get past 3, which is probably just about the average of 2019, isn't it? I can't think of too many people that have gone past that. It's been an utterly awful year for sweet or savoury.
Bit of a low streak, isn't it? Bit of a low hope.
In that. Very disappointed.
Gone are the days where Jason would come on here and smash 50 or whatever it was that he was doing on. Is he still the record holder to this day?
I think so. I don't think anyone's ever beaten Jay. Yeah.
Not many people have even got close.
No.
Oh well. Well, I think, unless anyone else has anything to add, that is the end of our show. Thank you very much, Luke, for joining us. Please remind our dear listeners where they can find you, where they can find your channel, what the channel's called, and why they should subscribe.
Well, Sweaty Thumbsticks. We're on YouTube and also Instagram. Instagram's probably more regular content, whereas obviously YouTube's more video based. Sorry, Mike is very distracting right now. As always.
As always, yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we're looking to do Instagram, especially is more sort of my retro collection, things like that, for like retro games, things like that, some collectibles, stuff like that. And the YouTube channel is kind of just me and Mike pissing around as we do, me enduring his company and trying my best not to go mad as I'm staring at his face right now.
And Pengy.
Yeah, and Pengy.
This is the most offensive shit ever.
It's nice
for
to
the
get my own
listeners.
back, actually.
It's husky for the listeners. I've quite obviously got my husky dog called Husky, and they're saying it's a penguin.
Quite obviously, I've quite obviously got my husky dog. What a great phrase. No, but yeah, everyone, please do head over there. I know it means supporting Michael in some other way, and we don't like to do that, but Luke is a genuinely good guy, and support him in, as I say, in life of dealing with Michael Jameson. Stuart, Michael, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for joining me.
Correct.
And thank you for joining me. And to the listeners, thank you for joining me. And just remember, a finger of FRUK is just enough to give your child a treat. Good night.
Oh dear, can we not? Can we not have?
And that is the
Absolutely.
advertising campaign for Jimmy Savile.
Jimmy Savile.
Nice.
I love Nate's head.